Hello and welcome to Near Dark Podcast, episode 75. And today, me, which is Zombie, and Josef are gonna talk about the movie, as you may have seen in the title, Blood Rage from 1987.
Yes,
But
even though it was filmed in 1983, it was sitting on the shelf for 4 years.
nice. Love it.
Yeah.
Collecting dust.
Mm.
But before we start discussing that movie, we are gonna discuss some recently seen movies, which I have none of, as usual.
I'm not surprised. But before that, how are you doing today? We are recording a bit earlier than we usually are. So
Yeah, I'm doing fine. I worked today, a little bit peeved after that, but
oh
I'm doing fine.
yeah, okay.
Still full of energy.
Mm. I got a small cold going on here, so it might sound like I'm talking in a metal box or something. I don't know. But besides that, I'm all fine. I kind of guess.
That good winter sickness
Yeah,
starting.
the start of the winter, you know.
Gotta love it.
It's always fun. But yeah, recently seen. Okay, so I've been watching a bunch of stuff.
Surprising no one.
But I'm just gonna talk about two movies and one TV series. I'm gonna start off with TV series. Me and Tiger has continued on with the Chucky TV series. We're on episode. Well, we're up to date with the series right now. We watched episode 4 and 5 this Friday, I think it was, and I still think the show is great, but it feels like they had to put in some story elements in there and make they put
Actually,
they put in a lot of backstory to Charles Lee Ray, which is Chucky's real name, and they started to develop the characters a little bit more and such. So the mayhem has taken a little bit of a backseat. Yeah, exactly. But it's still there, and I think the show is still great. But I didn't love these episodes like I loved the first 3 episodes, but they're still great. The show is still very entertaining, so I'm really looking forward to episode 6.
yeah.
I haven't gotten around to watch the first episode of the new Dexter season yet. I'm gonna try to watch that before the next episode.
Please do.
The second episode is released today, so okay, so the movies I've watched is one of the movies I watched was released about 2.5 weeks ago, and that was the latest Paranormal Activity movie, which basically...
are they still doing those?
Come again?
Are they still doing those?
Yeah, I didn't have a clue that they were gonna release a new movie, and Tim, who was on the very, 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 very first episode of the podcast, was like, "Hey guys, do you want to check out the new Paranormal Activity movie?" I was like, "Wait, huh? There's a new one?" So it's one of those sequels no one asked for.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's called Paranormal Activity Next of Kin, and it doesn't have anything whatsoever to do with the first 6 movies. It doesn't have anything to do with the spin-off, the marked ones. I think it's called. Nor the main 5 movies before that. So I kind of guess it's sort of a spin-off as well. But the story in the movie is basically about this young woman who's been left. Her mother left her as a baby at like a hospital or something, and she has come into contact with her supposedly family, or one member of her family. And she decides that she and a team of documentary makers are gonna travel to her family's farm and, well, document her reunion with them.
Yeah.
And it turns out that her family is Amish, and it doesn't take that long before weird stuff starts to happen. And,
As they do.
Yeah. This might be one of the dumbest fucking movies I've ever seen in my entire life. The characters are the type of characters, they have no reason whatsoever to stay at this farm and to investigate the happenings at the farm, but they still do. And there's so many points in the movie where you're just like, go away, run.
Yeah.
But they're like, nah, it's gonna be fine.
Like they have no motivation for doing the things they do.
Exactly. There's no motivation whatsoever. And with that being said, I didn't think it was a shitty movie in the sense that it was boring. I personally don't like any of the previous Paranormal Activity movies. I think part 4 was okay. The rest is shit. But that's because there's really nothing happening in the movies. But in this one, there's basically, well, not wall to wall, but at a certain point, things starts to snowball, and it just escalates towards the end, and it's just chaos. So it does something. It does something that the previous movies never did.
Kill the Amish.
Yeah, that as well. But yeah, it's action packed. It's completely ludicrous and stupid. I can't say that I enjoyed it that much. I thought it was an okay one-time watch. I don't think I'll ever rewatch it unless we're gonna cover it on the podcast, which will be in about 15 years, if so. But yeah, it's an okay one-time watch if you can get past the dumbness of the film. I don't even know if that's a word, but hey ho.
Yeah.
And the second movie I'm going to talk briefly about here is Cherry Falls from 2000, I think, starring the late Brittany Murphy, who unfortunately passed away because of a drug overdose, I think, a couple of years back, like 10 years or something. And it's also starring Michael Biehn, one of the stars from The Terminator and Aliens. He plays Reese in The Terminator and Hicks in Aliens.
Okay. I remember that name.
Yeah, he's one of the survivors in Aliens. Yeah, I think. Yeah, he's the only Marine that survives Aliens.
Okay.
Spoiler
Yeah.
alert.
In Alien 2, right?
Yes, Aliens.
Yeah.
Alien 2.
Ah, right.
Alien 2
It's
is a completely different movie. It's an Italian ripoff.
okay. Right. It's Alien and then Aliens. I always
Yes.
forget that.
Yes.
Right.
Alien 2 is Alien 2 on Earth from 1980, I think. It's an Italian ripoff movie, which is fucking terrible.
We need to watch that.
Yeah, I got it on Blu-ray actually.
Ah, I look forward to it already.
But yeah, the Cherry Falls 2000 slasher movie, which from what I've understood about it, they for some reason cut out all of the gore, or well, most of it at least, and just dumped it on American TV because it was meant to go to cinemas, but for some reason they just cut everything out and just dumped it over there. And it's one of those Event Horizon cases where the cut footage either is lost or destroyed.
Aww.
So we might never see we might never see a fully uncut version of the film, which is a shame.
That sucks.
Yeah, which is a big shame because Cherry Falls has a really interesting twist on the slasher movie. Because the plot of the movie is basically this serial killer starts to murder teens in the small town of Cherry Falls, and the killer's victims are virgins. That's the twist of the concept. They usually it's just horny teens
Yeah.
that gets bumped off, but in this the victims are virgins.
All the final girls are starting to quake. And why does it seem that all the lost footage are from movies where you actually are interested in watching
Yeah.
that found footage?
Yeah, exactly. I've seen Cherry Falls a couple of times before. I saw it way back in 2003, I think, for the first time on cable TV. And then I've seen it a couple of times throughout the years. The reason I was rewatching it this time is because I'm trying to catch up on another podcast I'm following. And Cherry Falls is one of the movies they've been talking about, and I haven't seen it for a couple of years, so
Fair.
Yeah, so I wanted to rewatch it, and even though the cut footage is gone, it's a good movie. It's well acted and it looks good. And it got the interesting twist on the of the concept.
Yeah.
But like I said, the murders are very tame or semi tame. You get quick glances of them, basically. So they shorted down a lot in it.
Yeah. That's a shame.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, that's everything I got for now, I think.
Until next time.
I will probably have a lot to speak about on the next episode, but yeah.
And hopefully we'll be more on the podcast by then.
Oh yeah, we totally forgot about to talk about that.
Yeah, as you may have noticed that once again we are just two people. I also totally forgot to mention it now that I said it.
If Angel and Oggy isn't on the show, we might have a guest on the next episode.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
Or just rename the whole podcast to Josef and Zombie podcast.
we might as well. We might as well.
Just take full credit.
Yes. But yeah, should we Should we roll the trailer then, perhaps?
Let's.
Okay, here it is.
Looks like you're gonna get a chance to meet the rest of the family. My psychotic brother just escaped.
Just don't want to spoil things.
We also need more turkey?
No, I'm pretty good, thanks.
I don't like to talk about my brother. It gives me nightmares.
I mean, it is Thanksgiving.
You know, somebody ought to tell him to get inside. Nobody should be out with my brother around.
He looked exactly like Terry, except he had this really wild, crazed look in his eyes.
There's somebody after me and he's chasing me and he's trying to hurt me. You're gonna hurt my kitty. Oh, God.
You're a real sweetheart. You know that? A real sweetheart. It's not cranberry sauce, Artie. It's not cranberry sauce.
Twins Todd and Terry seems like sweet boys. That is, until one of them takes an axe to hack up a fellow patron at the local drive-in. Todd is blamed for the bloody crime and gets institutionalized, whilst twin brother Terry goes free. 10 years later, as the family gathers around the table for a Thanksgiving meal, the news comes in that Todd has escaped. But has the real killer in fact been in their midst all along? One thing is for sure, there will be blood and rage. Okay, so the very first time I saw Blood Rage was, I think, around 2008 or 2009. I can't really remember exactly when. But it was around that time, and I think it was a dodgy VHS rip of the film I was watching. Back then you had to go on the Baby Jesus to acquire these more niche titles if you wanted to watch them. Nowadays it's a lot easier when Arrow, 88 Films, Scream Factory, and so on re-releases these movies on Blu-ray and DVD. But then I picked up the 3-disc Blu-ray release from Arrow a couple of years ago, and I rewatched the movie. There are 3 different versions on that release. One is the uncut version. The second one is a cut version, but it has additional scenes that aren't in the uncut version. And the third version is a composite version of the uncut and the cut version. So it's the uncut movie, but with the additional scenes from the cut version. I watched all 3 of them in 3 days.
Nice.
Well, at the time I was like, okay, I'm never gonna rewatch Blood Rage ever again. I'm so tired of this film. But upon rewatching it today, I finished it up like an hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
I was struck about how well put together the movie is, considering that it was sort of a troubled shoot. I mean, the effects looks really good to this day. I mean, it's almost been 40 years. The movie was filmed in 1983, but it was sat on shelf for 4 years until 1987, and it was actually released shy of a month after I was born. So
nice.
That's some trivia for you. And I mean, I really like the effects. The effects looks great. I really like the synth soundtrack. It's very mid-80s-ish.
It blends very well into the background.
Yeah.
That, like, you don't really notice it, but it's in a way that you would notice it if it wasn't there. It just fits so well where it needs to be.
Yeah. But like I said, this was of course a rewatch for me. But this was a first time watch for you, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. But what are your initial thoughts about it?
So I basically just watched it, like maybe not even like 25 minutes ago, and I honestly, I don't really know where to start. It was like, it felt a bit over the place, but at the same time, very much not.
The first 25, not to break you off, but the first 25 minutes of the movie, I think or rather is great.
Yeah.
You know, it's fast paced. I think there's like 4 kills in the first 25 minutes. So it's
Like,
just cuts the bullshit and just throws you straight
yeah, it's
into
just
it.
one after the other.
Yeah.
Like, the build-up is so very short. It's just...
Yeah.
Here you have the first kill, which is the, like, setup for the rest of the movie, which is standard. And then it's like, oh, here we have the characters. And then it's like, well, better start killing. Like, you have no, like, teasing, no nothing of that. It's just straight up, like,
Yeah.
almost immediately after that the killing starts. Because for me, watching horror movies a bit new, as I'm used to like more build up. So it was refreshing to see it in this movie. Not that it's bad in others that they do the build up, but it's nice to see something out of the ordinary once in a while.
Yeah. Well, they technically have taken the build up and put it 25 minutes into the film instead of putting it at the beginning of the film. Because after 25 minutes, it just slows down and it just goes on and on. Sure, there are a couple of murders thrown in there as well, but they're mostly off screen. And you just see the mayhem, the aftermath of the mayhem.
And they give you just enough to know, like, they dead.
And then the last 20 minutes, things starts to pick up again. So, oh shit! The tempo is all over the place.
Indeed, very much so, and it does follow pretty much standard final chase scene, but I do like what I do like about it was, like, jumping all over the place as the movie is the killer Terry, because of how his character is. The chase scene didn't feel like very much like others, because like in other movies you have this silent killer that just follows you and he's gonna appear, and I think I may have lost internet, who knows.
No.
Oh, it's just, that's the silence I usually hear when I lose internet, so I just assume.
No, I'm listening to what you're saying.
Yeah, but like, you have the killers that are usually silent, they're always right behind you, and like, they're just quietly following, walking and whatnot. But here you have Terry, he's doing pretty much the same, but he isn't quiet about it. He's very much laughing, having the time of his life finally again, and just enjoying it. Like, haha, you have no humor. Like, this is so casual for me and whatnot. Just enjoying the moment for what it is, and in a way,
his motivation is kind of bullshit as well.
Yeah,
he just starts to murder people because his brother has escaped the loony bin.
I think it might be a combination of that and seeing his mom make out with this dude, because I think those two may be a trigger, because that is what happened the first time he killed, and then it happens the same thing when
some what's it called, incest ish.
yeah, because I think like what she talks about in the end, I think is
Yeah.
was kind of his goal with the whole thing. At the very least, it felt like it. It felt like something that he would have wanted to happen, because otherwise, I feel like she might as well have been a victim if he didn't care about her.
Yeah.
Because, like, he killed his friends and everyone else without any regard. And he was willing to kill his girlfriend. And he never showed that kind of bloodlust towards his mother.
Yeah.
So
But
I
on
think,
on the other
yeah.
hand, the first kill, it's kind of bullshit as well. You know,
Yeah.
the whole blaming thing, because how the fuck could Todd get the blame when basically everyone at the drive-in saw Terry giving him the axe and smearing him with blood? I mean, what?
Plus the fact that, oh, you have this one kid with an axe that has like blood on his face, and then you have this totally blood-soaked child.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I mean, what kind of bullshit is that?
Like, even if they didn't see that, him giving the axe and whatnot, I feel like at the very least that would be like
Yeah.
some context clues. Like, how did he get blood-soaked while the other one is basically clean?
Yeah, I mean, some questions should have at least, you know,
Yeah.
been asked. I mean,
Yeah, and they should have noticed him being in shock and whatnot.
Yeah, he was
to...
basically catatonic.
Yeah, like, sure, it might look like, he's catatonic because he's the killer and did it like kinda Michael style, with him just walking out all silent as a child, but at the same time I feel like you should have raised more questions.
Yeah.
Because unlike him, he didn't really have a blood-soaked sibling next to him, like, blaming him. So yeah, it is very much questionable how he got in the situation that he did.
Yeah, and Terry's a fucking asshole, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, at the dinner table scene, his mom tells him not to tell everyone about Todd escaping the loony bin.
Yeah.
And the first thing he does is telling everyone about it. I mean,
Of course.
I mean, the look on her face is like, what the
fuck?
No, but what the fuck?
I trusted you.
Yeah,
What did I just say?
yeah,
Like, you can understand why, but at the same time it's very much like dick move.
yeah. And he has no real motivation for doing that as well. Well,
No.
perhaps besides the the thing we were talking about a minute ago about him wanting his mother for himself or something, perhaps. But
Yeah.
it's not clear that is his motivation to everything.
No. But I feel like also it does give him a window to start killing again if everyone knows that his brother is around. That if they managed to see him, he could have just been, oh, it's my brother.
Yeah,
And telling it to as many people. But I feel like it was very wrong time to do that. You could have done it with, like, stepping to the side, like, my mom is just upset or looking upset, or I'm looking upset because this. And playing more that card, but yeah. Yeah.
by the way, what did you think about the ending? And this is a spoiler for those who haven't seen the movie, so go watch it before you continue listening.
Looking at the characters and how they acted throughout the whole movie, I think it is very fitting.
I think the movie ends on a pretty dark note, really.
Yeah, it starts to look like a good ending where like you have survivors and everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah, it's very the downbeat.
Yeah, and then everything turns pretty quickly.
Yeah. I don't mind the ending because it's sort of a twist that she thinks that the guy she just shot was Todd, but in fact it was Terry.
I did suspect it because of how she started looking for her boyfriend. Like, Todd is out there killing again after seeing her son Terry in that case, because I don't know how she feels about Todd. Blood-soaked shirt, and he's like, Todd. Like, she's so convinced that it was Todd, like from the get-go, that it felt like, why is she not saying Todd's name in the scene? Because like I feel like at that point she would have said his name, unless you wanted to reveal it to be Terry's name.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't disappointed by the fact that it did that, because I felt like it fitted the narrative and her character very well. How she has been throughout the whole everything, because you see her a lot. Very much lot in the whole movie.
Yeah,
despite her being alone.
Yeah, you got these short snippets of her just sitting on the phone talking to the telephone operator and trying to reach her boyfriend, which is like 3 houses down the road.
Yeah.
Why she doesn't just go down there and check on him? It
like,
doesn't make any sense.
She has a. You basically see her have a full on like a breakdown over the whole thing.
In one of those scenes, she just sits on the floor eating food out of the refrigerator without any reason whatsoever.
Like, I just wrote that down and was like, mood. Because I feel like, yeah, but like I feel like that scene would have fitted better after she has gotten like piss drunk, and then she does that. But yeah, she was gone pretty quickly.
Yeah, is she drinking wine basically every scene she's in as well? I think.
Yeah, like after the fridge scene, I think she is like drinking wine like every scene, unless she's like passed out.
Yeah. The movie in itself is overall pretty dark, especially when you consider how the murders are made. You know, this like the psychologist that gets split in half.
I feel like that is one of the kills that like is okay with being not shown, because I don't think a lot of movies does show like that kind of thing, unless they do more of that type.
Yeah, I don't think they could have done that effect very convincingly on screen. It's better to just show the aftermath.
Yeah, like unlike the other ones that were like not shown, that could have been shown. Like, I would like to see them, but that one is very much like you're more interested, at least me, of like afterwards than like during, because it can happen very quickly, and it must have, considering she was still screaming while cut in half. So
I don't know how that works, but
yeah.
Well. What else was I thinking about? Like I said, the movie is pretty dark in a way, but then you got these small bits and pieces here and there that are really cheesy and funny. Sort of like the scene when Karen and I think her name was Julie are talking, and they're drinking tequila.
Yeah, doing the shots.
Yeah, and the guys are playing a video game. I don't know what video game it was. It
No
was
clue either.
really shitty. But she's like, Julie's like, "Hey guys," and the guys are responding with, "Hey, hi, how are you?"
Yeah.
Which made me laugh out loud.
Like, yeah,
Also,
we hear you.
yeah, they're like, yeah, well, don't bother us. We're playing a video game here. And another
Yeah.
scene that made me laugh was the when the mother comes home with her date, and Julie is like, what about those $10? She's like, $10? I mean, how fucking cheap can you be?
Yeah.
$10, really? I mean, sure, it would be, and I actually looked this up. It would be $27 today,
Yeah.
but still,
Like, I don't know how long she was gone, but at the same time, it's like a bit cheap, don't you think?
yeah. And she made the date pay as well.
Yeah. On that date, my goodness.
What did you think about the acting in the film? I got a couple of things to say about that. I think that Mark Supper, who played both Terry and Todd, because they were in quotation
Twins.
twins, yes.
Kind of like how Lindsay Lohan was twins.
Yeah, exactly.
I
I think his performance was a bit cheesy at times.
Yeah.
Not over the top, but it was a bit awkward at times. You know, his line delivers and everything. But overall, I think he made both roles work, at least.
Yeah. I think that the twins are the favorite characters of the whole movie, as they are the ones with, like, not most personality, but the most interesting dynamic, as you only see them together, like, very few times, and they are the ones with the most chemistry that you want to see happen. Because of, like, the situation that they found themselves in because of Terry.
Yeah. What did you think about Louis Lasser, by the way? The hysterical mother, Maddie was her name.
Not a big fan of her hair.
Okay.
Like,
I think she was really over the top, and you know, I don't know. I think they could have shortened down her running time, or you know,
Yeah.
screen time a little bit.
like, they could have done less time and show more with less. To really, like...
I think there are two scenes when she's just talking on the phone, and the scenes are short, but it feels like they are just dragging on and on and on, and nothing really happens in them.
Yeah, like, you see, like, it feels like the scenes are repeating themselves at some points. Like, there are some key ones that you can see that are useful, like, at least show a few where she's drinking to see that she's drunk. The one she has with Todd, and maybe one where she calls, or like to show that she does it several times, or do it maybe twice and do changed up the scenes just a tad bit to make them at least different from one another. You can still show her deteriorating throughout small snippets, but maybe not as many.
Yeah.
Because you still get the pictures, like, there she is, still going crazy, I see. Like,
Yeah.
then, like, not even 5 minutes later, still going crazy, I see, nice.
I think it was a lot of just padding out the running time, you know?
I feel like her impact in the ending would have felt bigger if we saw less of her. So, like, I really feel like she's a bit in the movie, she's not really what she's gonna play. Like,
I think they should have put in 1 or 2 more murders in the film instead of those short scenes. I understand that the budget might have not allowed them to. But they could have,
Yeah, that would have been nice. Like, there's 2 gruesome murders. 3 if you count the first one. And other than that, the other ones aren't really that interesting.
Not on screen, at least.
No.
Um,
Because, like, the decapitation one, it's also pretty gruesome, but it's very much off screen.
Yeah, that's totally off screen. You only see the aftermath of it.
Yeah, like...
I like the effect, though, because the head looks... Well, not very realistic, but it looks better than... And this is kind of a sin to say, the head in Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
But...
And, like, as long as it looks, like, nice and... not nice and nice, but, like... It... You get the picture that is a head that's cut off and, like, it looks gruesome. It doesn't necessarily need to look, like, ultra realistic to get the point across. Because it looks gruesome, a dude's head cut off. I'm happy. I'm a happy little camper.
What did you think about Karen? Which is kind of funny.
Yeah,
I mean the name, at least in 2021.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because of the current, like, social standing of the name, it felt pretty odd to have, like, the final girl be Karen.
It made me chuckle each time they were like, Karen?
Yeah, it almost made me want her to die.
Actually, I think the actress Julie Gordon, who played Karen, was actually the best out of all of the actors.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really liked the character and I liked the actress. It's a shame that she didn't really have a big career after this one.
Aww.
I think she stopped acting in like 89 or something like that.
That's unfortunate. Like,
or if it was 87, I can't remember. I checked her credentials on IMDb while I was watching the movie, but yeah.
it's unfortunate. Like, it was a good character to watch throughout the whole movie. That, like, you followed her character a lot, and it's through that and everyone that interacts with her that dies. And yeah, her acting was solid. Name do dock some points, but you know, what can you do?
She also has a pretty funny scene with Todd, where she realizes that it's Todd, and she's trying to get away. He's like, I never kissed a girl before. Well, you should try it sometime. I need to go. Bye.
Yeah.
Runs away.
Like, I never kissed a girl before. I recommend it. Do it. Gotta go.
You gotta try it sometime. Bye. Yeah, I thought that was really funny.
Yeah, such a casual way to get away from someone you're terrified of.
Yeah.
Like, look at the clock.
Yeah, something like that. But she doesn't really look that afraid either. She's like, oh.
Yeah, she looks more like a bit in shock that it happened, and it hasn't sunk in yet, so she just reacts before she has any time to react, in a way.
But yeah.
If that makes sense. Her instinct is first to get away before she has any time to process what is actually happening. Which makes it look very funny when she does it.
Yeah.
By the way, like, something I just looked down on my notes and I just realized, like, the doctor and some other random dude started looking for Todd.
Yeah.
That escaped a mental institution, I think. Why only 2 people if said person was supposedly a killer? Like, sure, he killed 1 person as a child, supposedly, but like 2 people with...
Yeah, the doctor doesn't even think that it was Todd who killed that guy at the drive-in.
Yeah, but at the very same time, he does seem to have, like, violent outbursts. At the very same time. And like, I feel like, even if the doctor doesn't necessarily believe him to be this murderer, like, the institution as a whole should have reacted at someone escaping, I feel like.
I kind of guess it's a plot hole.
Yeah, because I feel like if anyone escapes, you usually call the police to be like, we have a potential killer loose, or
yeah,
like,
they say like 3 or 4 times throughout the movie. Should we call the cops? Nah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, like, Myers escape, they call the cops. Like, if the stepdad from, I think I don't remember the movie, stepdad, like, escapes, they call the cops. Like, sure,
the stepfather.
they killed people. Yeah, the stepfather. Sure, they kill people to do it, but at the same time, I think, like, it should apply here as well, that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's just a little plot hole I thought of.
Yeah, it was probably overlooked, or it had to do with the budget. They couldn't get a bunch of, background actors to fill the roles of cops or something.
Yeah, I just feel like it could have been, like, maybe easily explained by the doctor, like, we don't want people to know that he escaped, so I'm just gonna go personally look for him before they realize he's gone.
Yeah, like, they could have just thrown in a throwaway line there about that.
They, the institution will have my job, so I need to find him before they realize he's gone. And there you have it. Like, that's why there's so few people.
One line that the doctor says that actually made me chuckle was, when they are splitting up, she's like, you go over there and I go out in the woods. I was just thinking to myself, yeah, what can go wrong?
Yeah, and then like yeah, there's a trail there, go look for him, and then she just wanders right into the woods until she finds this bridge trail.
Yeah.
And it feels like, woman.
It doesn't make any sense. But on the other hand, which slasher movie does?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do we have anything else to say?
I think that Terry was very much obviously the killer, even if we didn't know. Wait a second. As I was saying, I think that even if we didn't know which twin was the actual killer, I think, like, if they didn't show us who the actual killer was, and you had to, like, who is the real killer?
Yeah, if they made it into a whodunit.
Yeah, I think it would have been pretty obvious that Terry was the killer, because who the fuck doesn't fold their collar over their tie. That looks so weird.
That was something I didn't pick up on, actually.
It's bothered me so much.
Well, he was an asshole, so...
Like, even if he wasn't the killer, he deserved to die from that point on.
But yeah, I can agree with you. The movie should have been a whodunit, because of the twins aspect of it.
It would have been really interesting to see at the very least, because you have this very charismatic, happy one that, yeah, he could be the killer, and then you have this nervous wreck of a guy that he could also very easily be it.
Yeah,
and they blame each other.
Yeah, it would have been a bit more interesting.
Yeah, especially with them being twins, you could have made them look even more alike.
Yeah,
and made them at one point make one pretend to be the other in order to get a kill.
Yeah.
Once you have like realized who it is. Or maybe you don't, because they switch up. Because like I feel like that was a missed opportunity as they were twins.
Yeah. Yeah,
and just simply have one be the evil twin.
Yeah, I totally agree. But yeah, should we put a rating on it?
Yeah. Right. I totally forgot we do that.
Yeah. Okay, so I can go first. I will give this an 8 out of 10.
Ooh, nice.
If the movie was like the first 25 minutes of the film, with a little bit more action in the middle of it, this would have been a 10 out of 10 for me. But I think it starts to drag on a little bit in the middle.
Yeah.
I don't have any problems with the cheesiness or the pretty ludicrous script.
It's just that the tempo goes a little bit everywhere, so
yeah,
it whiplash you.
Yeah, like we said, it feels like they've taken the build up and put it 25 minutes into the film,
which doesn't really work.
No, it's sort of like the same thing with the Toolbox Murders from 1979, I think it came out, or 78, in which the first 30 minutes are really action packed. There are a lot of murders, or well, not a lot, but there are a bunch of murders in the first 30 minutes, and then the whole movie just slows down and becomes like a dark psychological drama instead of a straight ahead slasher movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's a solid 8 out of 10. If the tempo would have been the same throughout most of the film, it would have been a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I will be right behind you with a 7 out of 10. If they had kept the tempo better, and if they had like done the mother's scenes better, I think it would have been a very different movie. Which is unfortunate, but it's not a bad movie. It's just that it could have been better.
It's a good slasher movie. I'll give it that.
Oh yeah.
But it's flawed.
It delivers on what it promises at the very least.
Definitely. Okay.
And
yes.
I don't know a lot of slasher movies that actually like just instead of having the title card, they just have slasher like as a text in the intro.
That was a really okay. I'm gonna talk a little bit about that in the background, actually.
Please do.
Okay, so background then. We're just throwing us in here. Filming of Blood Rage took place in 1983, like I said, in Jacksonville, Florida, where producer Marianne Cantor had secured a large number of local film investors. Scenes on the nature trails were shot on the campus of the University of North Florida, while the apartment complex was located in West Jacksonville. Additional filming for the opening drive-in sequence took place in New Jersey. According to Cantor, the only reason she appeared in the role of Dr. Berman, the psychologist who gets shot in too, had been because the actress hired to do the role from New York failed to show up. Cantor also noted that the production of the film was rocky, like I think I mentioned that it was a troubled shoot, with star Louise Lasser and director John Grismer not getting along on set. According to Cantor, Grismer quit during the middle of the shoot, though she was able to get him to agree to return. So yeah, it was.
Oof.
It was rocky, to say the least, I kind of guess. The film's original working title was Complex, or The Complex. I've found two different sources. But it was retitled to Slasher by Grismer.
I feel like Slasher would have worked, but Complex gives you other expectations of the movie, more building based.
Yeah. And although the film was shot in 1983, it was, like I said, it was put on the shelf for 4 years. And it was given only a limited release theatrically in the US by the Film Concept Group under the title Nightmare at Shadow Woods in 1987. And this cut of the film truncated a considerable amount of the gore special effects, and it was cut with about 3 minutes. It was subsequently released on home video under the title Blood Rage, which is known as nowadays. Though the opening credits confusingly identify the film's title as director Grismer's working title Slasher.
Yeah. I just thought that they were like, oh yeah, just to remind you, this is a slasher. Like, and I went like, fine, sure. I guess you can do that. Like, not really any other slasher movies does that, but fine.
Yeah.
So like, it's lucky that it was Slasher, not any other title. Because otherwise it would have been more confusing.
Yes, indeed. Nightmare at Shadow Woods, which was also the cable television title for this film, was, like I said, heavily edited, aggravating much of the gore. But it contained a swimming pool scene not found in the 87 VHS Blood Rage version by Prism Entertainment. That was the part that was in the cut version on the Arrow Blu-ray.
Which scene was it?
It was it contained a swimming pool scene, which is in the uncut version of the film.
Which version did we watch?
The uncut version.
Because I think like there are a few scenes by the pool.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with any murders or anything. It's just people sitting around the pool talking shit, basically.
Nice.
And the letter contains all of the gore and includes an early scene missing from the Nightmare at Shadow Woods version, where Maddie visits Todd at the mental hospital. So that scene is in the uncut, but it's not in the cut version.
Okay.
The film was released on VHS by Prism Entertainment in 1987 under the title Blood Rage, like I said. The censored Nightmare at Shadow Woods cut of the film had a budget DVD release in 2004 by Legacy Entertainment. And on December the 15th, 2015, Arrow Films released the film on Blu-ray in a 3-disc limited edition Blu-ray and DVD combination set, which contain an additional Blu-ray disc featuring the Nightmare at Shadow Woods cut of the film, as well as outtakes and a composite cut, which I talked about earlier in this episode.
So many versions.
A standard 2-disc Blu-ray and DVD combination set was released in January of 2017. And this was the full-length film debut of actor Ted Raimi, who's the brother of Sam Raimi, who is one of the creators of the Evil Dead franchise. He was the guy who cameos early on in the film at the drive-in as the kid selling condoms.
Okay.
That's that's Ted Raimi. Even though he appears in The Evil Dead, which was released in 1981 as well, but he was only one of the fake Shemps in that movie. And a fake Shemp, I guess you don't know what that is, but that's a term for someone who appears in a film under heavy makeup, filmed from the back, or perhaps only showing an arm or a foot.
Okay.
Yeah. The last couple of things I got here is some short snippets from reviews. Clayton Dillard of Slant Magazine awarded the film 4.5 out of 5 stars, writing, "Funny, brutal, and featuring an above-average amount of TNA, Blood Rage epitomizes the slasher film's sense of transgression, both in terms of bodily awareness and genre play." The Variety Film Reviews Guide deemed the film a trite slasher flick, adding, "Only Lasser, experienced enough to realize the anemic script can only be played for laughs, has any screen presence." And Nate Guerra of the website Bloody Disgusting felt Mark Sopper's performance, and I quote, "can be awkward at times, but Sopper does do a great job separating the twins' personalities and portraying 2 completely different characters." And he continued on.
That I do agree with.
Yeah, I do agree with that. And he continued on with, he has weird moments, such as putting lots of unnecessary emphasis on lines. His performance is truly based on whether or not he's trying at any given moment. But Soper looks like he's having a great time, and that's what counts for movies such as this. And yeah, I can see where it's coming from.
Yeah. Like, you can get sucked in by just an actor's, like, energy to play a character.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with actors that goes over the top.
Yeah, and just enjoy the character that they're playing.
Yeah,
Like, they have fun playing it.
Yeah, at least as long as they aren't irritating.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, like, they aren't... They love playing the character, but at the same time, like, they're not annoying about the fact that they love playing the character.
Yeah.
And it often is when they're not playing a necessarily character that's supposed to be annoying.
Yeah. Absolutely, but that's everything I got for Blood Rage.
I think that the chase end scene does radiate that energy that he enjoyed playing the character.
Mm-hmm.
Because like throughout the whole thing he just looked like he was having a grand old time.
Yeah, you can tell that he had a lot of fun doing the shoot.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that is also like everything I have to say. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. We are playing out with Nightcrawler Blood Rage.
Nice.
Which is new synthwave, I think it's called. It's really good, and it's fitting to this movie, since the soundtrack is very synthy.
Yeah.
Okay, next episode is yours. So what are we?
Yeah.
what are we not playing out? What are we covering now?
We are covering a bit more recent movie, and a movie that I have wanted to watch for a long time. Never gotten around to doing it. I think this is one of the movies that out of like all horror movies, has been movies that I want to watch simply because they're classics, and I think this is a combination of that and just I've heard a lot of good stuff about it, which has gotten me excited. Because next episode we are gonna talk about Babadook from 2014.
Oh, okay.
Not really expected.
No, I actually thought we were gonna cover something older, but okay.
No, that's for next time. I'm trying to variate the times more.
Okay.
I have a system.
Babadook, I haven't seen that since it was released.
Been a while.
It's gonna be interesting to rewatch it.
Yeah, boy.
Quoting Shaun of the Dead. But yes, should we wrap everything up then, perhaps?
Never. Let's continue forever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let's start with saying thank you all of the listeners for listening to this episode, and we hope to hear from you in the next episode.
Definitely. Thanks for listening, and hopefully you enjoyed this two-man show. Or two-man episode.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be more by next time. Either by having the rest of the crew here or having a guest appearance.
Yes. Okay,
And,
that's that.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.